Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 27 of Monster. Indeed, previously, we continued. Part of me wants to call it a side story, but considering Johan's involved, I don't think it is a side story. It's just, I kind of consider anything that Tenma isn't involved in to be a side story. But basically, we had Carl searching for this new character searching for his birth parents and got involved with some girl. And basically, they were investigating this guy that committed suicide after a while. Suicide was seemingly kind of suspicious, and it's pretty much heavily implied that it was not just a suicide. And then Johan showed up, and then Johan seemingly is a great guy, right? Getting to know this Carl guy and helping him, and just in general, seemingly helping them out all the time with everything, seemingly, from what we can see on the surface. However, we, the audience, the gods, know better. We know that Johan's up to something, doing something, experimenting with something. There's always a, underlying agenda, a plan. What this plan is, we don't yet know. However, I feel like we are moving towards that climax now. In this episode, hopefully, we'll see what Johan's plan is. Regardless, let's just get into it. Episode 27.
You're looking very well.
Thanks.
And how's your job? Everything going smoothly? I'm happy you're doing well.
Oh yeah, there was this guy as well. The private eye.
Is Rosemary all right? How's she adjusting?
She's doing fine.
Let me
She's
guess.
Made a lot of new.
Let me guess. Another investigator who has a previous family, and then they broke up, and they had he had a kid with the woman, but they're all fucking single now. It's Lunge all over again.
Friends.
That's terrific. Sounds like she's fitting in. Yeah, that's really good news. She's becoming used to her new school.
I should get going. I'm sorry.
I'd prefer to see her in person.
No.
How about 2 days from now?
That's cringe. That is hella cringe. Okay? I mean, look, if you're not together with someone, let's say you had a child together and you didn't win the custody battle, right? If, let's say, the courts decided that you simply cannot see her or whatever, right? Like, maybe you can make some deals like, hey, you can get some pictures of the child, or maybe you can see her once or twice, like in 2 weeks or so. I don't know. Whatever the deal is. But in those cases, I think the other parent who can barely see their child, them trying to force their way in and kind of like try to wiggle their way back into the life of the parent that has to take care of the child all the time, that's hella cringe to me. Because that parent with the child, they would like to maybe, I don't know, move on, right? As in like they might move on to someone else, right? They might have someone else like a new significant other, right? You constantly trying to get back into the family with the child as an excuse, and well, maybe not the excuse, maybe that is the priority, but the point is that ultimately it's kind of cringe, right? Because the mother in this case, the woman doesn't want this guy anymore, obviously, and doesn't want this guy in her life. So it's like, if I was in that situation, if I was in the mother's position, let's say I had a child and I had a child with some woman, and then we broke up or whatever, we went our separate ways, but I got the custody of our child, right? I know for a fact that I would not want the mother that I broke up with to try to wiggle their way back into having some sort of connection with my family, right? it's just kind of cringe, right? Especially if I have a negative opinion of them. I would not want them in my child's life. Yes, it's their child as well, but because the child lives with me, I don't want them to start also now somehow living with me and my new boyfriend and my new girlfriend. I mean, it's just a little bit weird. And imagine if the child, like when we broke up, the child was very young, so the child doesn't even remember, right? Then it's like, dude, it's one thing if the child was old enough to have memories with the mother, right? Then I would be like, okay, like you can visit the child, or you can meet the child or whatever, right? Every so often, that's fine. But if they weren't even old enough to remember, then I'd be like, dude, like I don't want you here. You're not gonna wiggle your way into this, our child's life anymore, right? You're out of this family. Move on. That's just my opinion.
We could meet. Fact is, I'm completely sober. My life's back to normal again.
Yeah,
Well,
sure, bro. Also, he's probably gonna die. Let's be honest. Why would you be doing this if not to kill him? Oh, he has a sob story, of course. I've been sober for a long time. I'm good now. Please take me back.
How much I've screwed up.
I'm gonna let her decide whether she wants to see you or not.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfectly done. Perfect. That's how you do it. If the child wants to see the father, then let him. If not, then no. It is what it is, right? And in that situation, if the child was too young to even remember the father, then the child would be like, huh? Who? Who? Father who? Biological father who? Huh? Who? Also, they may. I mean, at this point, if you've been watching my videos, I've talked about my thoughts on addiction, and alcoholism. Addiction to alcohol is the exact same thing. Okay, I personally don't think you can get addicted to alcohol. Yep, I said it. So, proof. You want proof, huh? You want proof. Okay? I'll give you proof. Logical proof, okay? Hang on, let me write this down. So, my proof that you cannot get addicted to alcohol is simply stop doing it. Drink something else. You see, what you're addicted to 9 times out of 10, not always, but 9 times out of 10, you're not addicted to alcohol, you're addicted to drinking something. In that way, I am also addicted, right? I also like to drink something, right? Like for now, I am drinking a soda. I am actually drinking Pepsi Max. You should try it. It's very good. Oh yeah. Throughout the day, almost always, have a drink next to me. I have my water bottle, my water bottle of water. I have my water. I have my water bottle. Right now I have my soda, right? But overall, almost all the time I have something to drink. That's because I just like not to be parched. Now sometimes I have like multiple hours where I just, I don't feel the need to drink. Maybe I'm playing something, maybe I'm busy, I don't even think about drinking. But usually I still have some drink right next to me. And if I don't, then I have to go and get some water or something. My point is, I don't think they're addicted to alcohol. I think they're addicted to drinking a certain drink that they like. And that's the difference. It's not alcohol that they're addicted to. They're addicted to the feeling of the taste of the drink and the buzz that they get. Now you might say, well, isn't that exactly alcohol? The buzz? Well, I suppose, but in some ways, like it's not the type of addiction that is like very difficult to stop doing, if that makes sense. Which doesn't really make it an addiction, in my opinion.
What's your impression of this man? He made the initial discovery of Edmund body at the alleged suicide scene. Supposedly he's a friend of the deceased, that's all I know.
Well, here's what I know, Richard.
Yeah?
You're a dedicated workaholic, but you've got to learn to take time for yourself to relax.
The doctor kind of is right, but at the same time is not really right. What do you think will happen when you tell a workaholic to relax? Someone who has a previous experience with, well, a previous alcoholic, right? What do you think is going to happen when you tell them, hey, stop doing what you're doing that keeps you busy and relax? What do you think they're going to do? The one thing that relaxes them is the thing that they gave up. Now, what can you do here? Well, you gotta tell them to get a hobby. So many people, especially older people, even these days, have no hobbies. They have like temporary hobbies. Like occasionally they do something and they do it a lot. Like whether it's gardening or what, you know, stuff like that, right? But they don't have something that they constantly do or like doing, besides maybe watching TV like all old people do. But overall, it's, you know,
Well, you must be looking forward to that.
you gotta find a hobby.
Yeah,
But
You gotta
just
really
remember,
find a hobby.
I think it's time to talk about the event that got you kicked off the police force. Tell me, Richard, what do you remember from that day?
Well, I remember all of it. He was 16 years old and a suspected murderer. I'd been
Suspected.
drinking on the job when I spotted him. I shot him dead. He died because I was drunk.
You've faced up to it. But that doesn't erase it. It will always be there. And nothing can remove that memory from your head. So do you know what's important now?
Giving myself permission to move on, right?
That's correct.
Interesting how we're focusing on this guy so much. Makes me think he's gonna die. Huh? Is this a dream? The fuck? Not really even sure what's going on. Some sort of panic attack or... Nah, I don't buy it. I just don't buy that. Like he's constantly tempted to go drinking again. Like I don't know. I just don't buy it. I guess it's just hard for me, right? Because I just don't have an addictive personality. So when I see something like, and like when I say I don't buy it, I mean like I personally don't buy it, right? I'm sure it's very possible. It might even be a realistic depiction of someone who has a problem with alcoholism, right? But personally, I don't buy it because to me it's stupid, right? To me it's stupid. If you had a problem and you gave it up, there's no way you would be tempted to go back. I know for a fact that if I had an addiction or something that I recognized was bad for me and I stopped doing it, I would never go back. For instance, I started working out. When I started gaining weight, too much weight, and I had never worked out in my life before, right? I was always the skinny guy who never really seemed to gain weight no matter what I ate. But then I started gaining weight, like a little too quickly. And then I was like, shit, I'm gonna work out. And then I started working out, I lost weight. Now I'm at a good weight now and somewhat kind of a little bit in shape, but I'm not going to stop doing it because I'm not going to stop working out because I know that I'm going to lose my fitness if I stop working out, right? I don't want to go back to that moment where I started getting fat. And yeah, temptation is there to stop working out and occasionally I miss a day or two and like I don't take it super seriously, but you know, like if I decided that something was bad for me, I'm not tempted to go back. That's what I find so weirdly like unrealistic or like I can't believe that, because I would never be tempted. You know, once I make the decision of shit, this is bad, I don't like this anymore, I'm done with this, I would never go back. I wouldn't even be tempted. If anything, the temptation is almost like an insult. You know, if I ever felt like I wanted to go back to this addiction that I had, I would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, I'm fucking stupid. Of course I'm not gonna go back, right? It would reaffirm my hatred of this addiction that I got rid of. Especially if you went through like withdrawal symptoms, right? It's like, let's assume you were addicted to drugs or something, right? And then you went through a lot of withdrawal symptoms to get rid of it, the addiction, and you're good now. There's no way you would go back to that. At least I don't think you would. And this is all, again, but also comes back to having a hobby, right? Instead of just going back to what you know, which is drinking or drugs or whatever, just find something else to do, right? Explore, do something else, meet people. In this case, I guess they don't, have internet. I mean, they do, but, it's not that advanced yet. My point is, like, find something else to do. Go somewhere else. Do something else. Why would you go back to something that you know is bad? That's my opinion on drugs and addiction.
I couldn't help but notice you've got a new picture of your daughter.
Yes. I may be able to see her soon.
Really? That's just wonderful. Your daughter will
Maybe.
be so delighted.
Do you
No.
really think so?
Of course.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. That's a bit cringe. Bro, you don't even have a picture of the mother? Ooh, you only have 3 pictures of your daughter? Ooh, that's cringe, bro.
What young girl wouldn't be happy
4
to
of
see
them?
her-
Oh, holy shit. Someone's obsessed, bro. She probably has no idea who you are.
Carl Neumann, I can't figure you out. If you know for sure, then why haven't you told Shuval that you're his son? Are you just another con man, or are you the real deal? If you're legit, then what is stopping you? Don't you realize that any parent would be overjoyed just to see their own child?
Debatable. Debatable.
I'm so sorry. She said she doesn't want to see you.
Oh, well, that's fine.
She's made up her mind. I didn't want to force her. It's her decision.
Hey, that's
Course.
okay. Don't worry about it.
It's very likely that she's lying. Because, I mean, the child is how old exactly? Like 10? Something? Probably. If the child doesn't really remember the father, then it's actually kind of likely that the child would want to see the father. Right? Meet them at least once. If the child has memories of the father, maybe, I suppose I can see it if it's not really good memories. If they're bad memories, then yeah, understandable that the child doesn't want to see him. But it's also very possible that the mother is like, hey, I don't want you in my child's life, and then uses this as just like, she didn't even tell the child that he wants to meet. And then just comes back and says, oh, she doesn't want to meet. Like lying on behalf of the child.
Yeah.
Which is, I hate that, by the way. I hate that. Do not ever lie on behalf of someone else. To protect them or whatever the fuck, right? Don't ever do that. Do not ever do that. I hate that with a passion. I hate it when people lie unnecessarily because they think that the truth is going to be too painful. No, no, no. I don't know. It's not realistic to me. This is just one of those things that I don't understand, and I'm just weird. I'm weird. You might be watching me, thinking about this, being like, how does he not understand? It's an addiction, But to me, it's like, dude, if you know that it's bad, stop doing it. I'm a logical person. To me, it's like, I don't understand. If you want to stop doing it, just stop doing it. They make it seem like alcoholism or alcohol is some sort
What
of
can I get for you, sir?
miracle drug that makes you feel better. No, it
Whiskey
doesn't.
will do.
Sure.
There hasn't been ever a single time in my life where I've drank alcohol and it has changed how I feel about anything. Not a single time. Alcohol doesn't have that effect.
Sir?
Let me guess, he didn't drink it, right? Good. Good. He has enough brain power to understand. Maybe I shouldn't. I gotta stop talking so much, Jesus.
I must say, Neumann, you've come a long way and become an excellent reader.
Thanks very much, sir.
I'm impressed by how much your Latin has improved in the short time you've been reading for me.
To be perfectly honest, I'm being tutored by someone.
Oh, well, he certainly is an excellent teacher. Would he be anybody I know?
Johan. Johan Liebert is my tutor.
Johan. A proficient young man.
Yes.
And not only in Latin.
Huh?
He has an extensive knowledge of law and economics, and amazing aptitude, in fact, for whatever he studies. He's a boy who's beautifully gifted at everything. He's true perfection.
Mr. Schuvald, what would you think if a boy like him... What if Johann Liebert was actually your real son?
Why would you... This guy is dumb. Carl is Mr. Dumb. Okay? Why would you do that? Why would you say that? I mean, I get it. He has this, like, complex about not being good enough or something, but come on, man.
Then he smiled. It was the first time I'd ever seen him smile. He made it clear that you're worthy enough to be his son, Johan. To be honest, I was jealous.
You're worthy enough to be his son. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Huh? Huh? Worthy enough to be his son? Huh? Like, what the fuck? It doesn't matter whether or not someone is worthy of being his son or not. Like, you're his son, period. There is nothing else. There's no worthiness involved. You know, like, what the fuck are we talking about? This isn't some sort of pull the sword from the stone moment, you know? Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Why don't you just tell him?
Exactly.
Come on, Carl, what have you got to lose? Go ahead and tell Schuvald you're his real son.
Will you stop it? How many times must I tell you I have no intention of doing that? What would be the point if I did? He would never believe me. And worse than that, then he'll think of me as just another greedy predator only interested in getting hold of his fortune. He'll despise me forever, and I won't stand for him thinking I'm after his fortune when he doesn't know a thing.
That's exactly why you should go talk to him. You have to gain his trust. Make him understand the truth about his son.
He'll never believe that I'm his son.
Well, don't you have something from your past that would prove it to him?
What?
Oh,
Anything
yeah.
he might recognize
Didn't... Dude, he's good. He's good.
You know, something you both could recall.
No, there's nothing, far as I know.
Your mother gave you something, right?
back.
Remember?
There must be something.
I'm drawing a big blank. It doesn't matter. I don't want to tell him, okay?
If that's the case, can you explain why you spent all that time having me tutor you in Latin?
Thank you.
Wasn't it because you wanted to please him? Because you wanted to make him proud of you?
God, what a fucking daddy's boy, dude.
I'm thinking that maybe I should...
And you know why? You know why this kind of pisses me off? Because, well, you know, not to bring up personal things, but my father... Yikes, bro. Yikes. Never had a good relationship with him. At most, it's kind of like you know, I meet him, we kind of say our hellos and, you know, be like, hey, you know, been a while. And that's it. Let's just say, dude's, what's the best word for it? Kind of a douchebag who is kind of dumb. Right? And does a lot of stupid things. You know, my personal bias is getting a hold of me here that I would never be Carl. Right? I wouldn't be caught dead doing what Carl is doing. I want my father to know and be proud of me. Fuck that, dude.
It's for the best. Thanks for all your concern. I appreciate it.
That's not concern.
But
That's
I guess
disappointment in his face.
Johan, wait. I feel you're entitled to know the truth. I do have something that can prove who I am.
Well, what is it?
It's dumb.
Fuck.
I don't know why I'm
He's so good. He's so good. He's so good. And now he's gonna tell him. And then what is Johan gonna do? He's gonna steal it. Potentially. Then again, we don't really know if that's his actual motive, though. His plan. I guess we'll see.
Holding on to it. I'm not going to convince him, and I don't need to. My foster parents are coming to visit me next week. I've been fooling myself. I'm not the son he'd want to have.
So I see. When your mind's made up, it's important not to waver. So for the time being, Carl, I think it would be a good idea to let me keep an eye on your proof.
We're so happy to hear your studies are going well.
God damn it.
I've got some people I hang out with and can talk to about anything.
Terrific. It's always good to have friends.
Oof.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't advocate for trying to gauge your friends and their intentions, but
That I can even be here.
Whoa, what's this?
I think this show tells us that maybe you
I
should.
was shuttled from one foster home to another.
Maybe
where
you
no one
should
cared
pay
about me.
attention.
But you two have treated me with such kindness.
That's because you're a wonderful young man. We both think so. Isn't it about time you stopped calling us Mr. and Mrs.? We came here hoping that you would finally accept our offer. We know this has been hard for you. With college treating you so well, Mother and I were wondering if you'd made up your mind. Have you decided to become our adopted son, Carl? We trust you. You trust us, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
We understand why you might still be a little hesitant. There's a chance your real parents are still alive. We can never be your birth parents, but maybe...
There's no maybe about it. Because the both of you are as real to me as my birth parents could ever be.
So, did he already give Johan the
Hello? Carl speaking.
Hello, Carl. It's me. Now, what's this I hear about you quitting your job?
Right, sir.
That's very disappointing.
I'm sorry for any inconvenience this might cause.
It really is a shame. I'm going to miss you, you know. If you don't mind, would you read to me one last time?
Sure. It'd be my pleasure.
I wouldn't be surprised if the old guy already knows. Old people have that, especially smart old people. They have a knack of being able to tell people's true intentions, I guess. So I wouldn't be surprised if he already knows that this kid is his son and Johan is, you know,
for the death of even the god Phoebus.
crazy.
What other
insane,
could there be?
But not at the same time.
The gods of Juno who dwell in the sea, the earth, and the heavens. From the summit of the Parthenon, steal the forbidden apple of Campania.
This is not sad to me at all. Is this supposed to be sad? Because like they didn't have any kind of relationship, right? Bear in mind, right? Carl, even as a child, never met the father, right? No memories. Yeah, the mother was there, sure, but never met the father. Only met when they met as adults, and he came to work for him. In other words, they only had a professional relationship. There was nothing. Literally nothing. Not to mention the guy, Schulwaltz or whatever, wasn't even like kind or anything. He was a fucking asshole, pretty much. So all of a sudden, now I just don't see this being sad because there was no build-up at all. So I don't understand why he's so, you know, why he's so distraught over this.
Everything to save
I don't know.
my soul.
In my mind, it just doesn't make sense unless I missed some bonding moment between them. Because you know. Uh oh. I mean, look. Even if right now they were like, "Hey, we're father and son. Oh my God, you're such a successful father. Oh my God, you're such a nice young man, son." It's like they still have no relationship. At most, it would be awkward, and it would be like, well, what now? You know, that would be if it was realistic.
Mr. Schufald.
You know, I just they have no relationship. I don't know.
So heartfelt and meaningful, the best I've heard in my whole life. Why did you keep this from me? This rabbit's foot holds so many memories. I gave it to Margot a long time ago. A good luck charm. I wanted to pass that luck to you. This is yours, Carl. My son. I've put you through so much.
I don't know. I just...
Oh, Father!
I've found my son.
I don't know. This just doesn't work on me. Because, again, as I said, there's no build-up. There's no... They didn't even meet each other until, you know, Carl came to work for him. You know? There's nothing. Like, I don't understand... I don't know.
This is all thanks to one person.
Of course.
He told me about everything. His help was invaluable, so from now on, he'll be working for me as my secretary. He is a young man who can be trusted.
Sure, bro. Sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk too long about this. I mean, I pretty much made it clear my thoughts on this episode. As this episode went on, we had this Richard guy dealing with his family and his alcoholism. Again, addiction to me is like, I don't know. Like, if you had a problem with it, if you were like, hey, I'm gonna stop, and then you stopped, there's no way you would go back. At least not in my head, right? Because that's what I would do. I would never go back, right? If I determined that something was bad for me and I stopped doing it, it's one thing, right? If I determined something is bad for me and then I keep doing it because it doesn't really affect me, like me drinking tea all the time, right? I like tea. I like drinking tea. I like the taste of it. Yeah, I might be addicted, but I have no reason to stop, right? Now, if someone told me, hey, this is really bad for you, right? And like, you're dying because of this, then I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna stop, right? Maybe dying isn't the right word. Maybe, oh, it's gonna cause massive problems down the line. Like 5 years from now, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna stop, right? Like, because I can stop anytime I want. It's easy. I just stop drinking it. Might get some headaches and some withdrawal symptoms, sure, but like, I'm gonna stop doing it. You know, once I have a reason to, I'm gonna stop doing it. And once I've stopped doing it, then I would never go back. I would just find something else. You know, I would find a different vice, I guess. That's my thoughts on addiction. But yeah, as for this like relationship thing between Carl and Schubert, I just, there is no relationship, right? That's why this like final moment where they're like, oh my God, son, oh my God, father, and then run at each other and cry. It's like, there's nothing, right? If they maybe, right? If they had more bonding moments without knowing that there's some father and son, you know, Carl knows the relationship. Beyond that, regardless of that, they still had some bonding moments or something. And, you know, Schubert came to think of him like a son, right? And then finds out, oh, they actually are father and son. Then I can see this, right? But they never had any kind of like bonding moments. So it's just weird to me that the second they find out, they're like, oh my God, I put you through so much. Oh my God, we both, let's start crying and run at each other and hold each other. Like, I don't know. I guess to me, family, blood relation doesn't matter that much, or like, I don't hold this much value in people I don't know, regardless of whether or not they're my family or some random. Because that's kind of what it is, right? To me, I don't remember who said it, but someone said that your family are your closest strangers, okay? A lot of the time, your family are your closest strangers. And I honestly believe that as well. I just felt like this wasn't built up well. Didn't feel correct. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Monster, episode 27. Honestly, I'm gonna say kind of weak episode. Like, some things, yes, happened, and the story is moving forward here, but certain things I don't know. setting up Richard to be this alcoholic thing was fine. But yeah, this relationship between Carl and Schwartz, it just did not feel right to me. It just didn't work, at least to me, in my opinion, in my personal humble opinion. In any case, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in episode 28 of Monster later.